All right.
Happy Monday.
Welcome to another Woods Report. All right. Not a lot going on.
Sometimes she'll start the show with a lot going on, a lot in the news.
Usually my mother, I try to get her to come up with stuff as Rona Barrett of the show.
She'll come up with some good stories.
And today she didn't have none in her notebook.
Not much to talk about today.
She didn't have a lot in her notebook today.
I found a story that we want to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it. But the one that I want to start off with is what everybody's talking. Well, everybody, the black women going off on Tyler Perry.
So as our main lead-in story. We got to get to the point. I don't understand why they're going off, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Let me do this. I'll tell you why. Hold on. Let's bring him up. I always forget to do this before, so I don't have to do it now. All right, I guess I'll leave us over there. What about it? Leave us there. Okay. Tyler Perry was on a talk show.
Yeah.
And they got in a conversation about single black women. So you already know right there, he gonna get eaten alive by women and men. The men are gonna eat him alive because they're gonna say he's Madea and he shouldn't be trying not to represent men at all.
Go ahead.
And they always
I'm saying a whole nother side of this, but go ahead.
But saying that he's not straight and all, men.
Hints about that.
And then women are going to get on him because again they're going to say he's not a man, he's not a woman. Why is a man always telling women about stuff? Mm-hmm. But I think
there's a lot of men out there who do know makeup and do know styles better than we do.
But
why has it be a male-female thing?
Right. But I think he was asked a question and he answered it. Mm-hmm. So it says here, producer and actor Tyler Perry has rubbed some black women the wrong way. I mean, everybody was going crazy over this. Oh, all over Twitter, Black Twitter. Well, now X. It's not Twitter anymore. Black X and Instagram and Facebook and everything.
Okay.
He's rubbed some black women the wrong way because of comments he made in a recent interview. The 54-year-old shared his thoughts about splitting bills on Keep It Positive, Sweetie. Mm-hmm. I guess that's the name of the show. A lot of women, this is him, especially black women, maybe should I find what he said?
Oh, verbatim. It's not in that article?
It is, but don't it sound better when you hear from him?
And he did start out with saying a lot of women, mm-hmm. especially black women. So he didn't just say black women need to... All black women are this. He said a lot of women, especially black women. So if that's partly what he started out his comment with, I don't see a problem.
Let me see.
But go ahead if you can find exactly what he says.
Let me see.
You have to go into that interview then, right?
They did it on the Breakfast Club, but I was trying to...
They? Why don't you go to the Breakfast Club?
Tyler Perry goes viral for telling black women they have unrealistic standards. Let's see who this is.
Experience mouth-watering bliss starting at only $3.99.
Commercials. Yeah, that's how they're doing it now. Commercials got to do social media.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. Let's see who this is.
Part than black men, right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job, mm-hmm. and is a good man and is good to you, mm-hmm. and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, mm-hmm. because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. Mm-hmm. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to mm-hmm. know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill, as long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then, mm-hmm. that is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. You serious?
Yeah, Tyler Perry, good luck trying to sell that to your audience. What's going on?
If that's it, then we can talk from there. Okay.
No, I wanted to see what he was going to say.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically what he said. He basically was saying what you just heard.
I agree.
That's better than me.
I agree with
me saying.
I don't know
so
why
let's
people
break
are
it
getting
down.
riled up about this.
Let's break it down.
And they don't have to. Here's the thing. Why do we get so riled up about someone's opinion? If we don't agree with it or have to do it and walk in that opinion, why are we getting mad at him for how he feels?
Right. So he says a lot of women, especially black women. Now, I'm breaking it down while everybody's mad.
Go ahead.
So first they got mad because he said a lot of women, and then he said especially black women.
Because we're vocal about it.
Well, I'm letting you know why he
Ebony made that clear. We're vocal.
So he's saying the reason why women are mad, a lot of black women are mad, is because they felt like he didn't have to single us out. He could have just said a lot of women. He didn't have to say especially black women. Okay. And I might get in trouble for saying this. So he knew he was going to get backlash for saying this.
So he knew it was coming.
He said, but I'll begin. In our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men. So I feel like he said especially black women because most white women don't make more money than white men. But in our community, most black women make more money than black men.
Income
right
now,
so I think that's why he said especially black women.
Okay.
White women don't normally find themselves in this situation because white women generally don't make more than white men. Right. Even the most successful white women.
Or the men that they do end up with. Whether he's white or any other color.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And it's usually they make more money than them. So that's why he's saying this. But because our man is being put in prison or all kind of stuff, it makes sense to say the people out there making most money in our community is women, black women. Okay. For the most part. So then he said, Perry continued, if you can find love, if that man works at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can because his gift might not be your gift, that is okay. Now, some women ran with, I don't want no man who broke and don't have no job. He didn't say that. He said if that man works at whatever job
does
that he does,
whether it's white collar or
so
blue
it's
collar.
not, he's not, right there he distinguishes.
He has a job.
He's distinguishing just some man that's sitting home on the couch.
It's not a scrub.
Watching television and playing video games
I don't
all
want
day.
No scrub.
Okay. So he has a job.
Thank you.
Whatever that is.
That's checkpoint. Okay. That's number 2.
He's a good man. He's good to you.
Oh, that's a big one. Because even with money, top CEO
may not be a good man, may not be good to you.
May not treat you right and you be backhand all the time.
He says he honors you. He honors the house.
Thank you.
He honors his wife. And does what he can. Because his gift might not be your gift. And that's okay. That's not somebody that's beneath you.
Yes. Because remember, he's honoring you
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth.
Yes.
Now, we got to get away from thinking a bus driver, a garbage guy that collects garbage, a landscaper, anybody. We got to get away from this. If somebody makes less money than me, then they're beneath me.
They're beneath me.
Money does not mean that you are above anybody else.
Thank you.
The person who you are makes you above other people. Like if somebody's a scum bucket, I'm going to say he's beneath me. I'm better than that. That's what I would say. That's my character. My character is better than that.
Because we know money magnifies you.
But money does not make somebody above somebody or beneath somebody or over anybody.
As far as their character and their integrity. Because one thing we do learn, and we see this in every lifestyle, every job, every career.
Yes.
If you are a butthole with no money.
You'll be a bigger butthole with money.
With money.
If you are a numbskull, a moron like Trump, You're going to be a moron as a billionaire.
A billionaire moron.
And your billionaire wife, Melania, will be on the other side of the mansion crying in her pillow at night with her Chanel bag.
Yes.
Who wants him? Because he's a billionaire.
But why are they jumping down his throat for this comment?
Well, let's keep going. The Madea actor continued. Now, that's shade right there. Why you keep calling him the Madea actor? Tyler Perry is more than Madea.
The sad thing about it is that we can't say that anymore. At his beginning,
he owns a studio.
How many black men or women own a studio?
All right. So the Madea actor, so they decreased him down to the Madea actor.
Thank you.
Continue.
Go ahead.
As long as he's securing himself to know that, she makes most of the money.
Yeah.
Okay, stop right there. They went off on him by saying most guys who don't make more money than their women, they are jealous or they are insecure. There's a lot of guys who are. I agree with that. Not most, but he didn't say that. He said, as long as he's secure in himself,
he had to make that clear.
To know that, she makes more money than me. It's like they didn't hear anything he said.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That took off the men who are insecure and jealous of you making more money than him.
And the sad thing about it, when I saw this article you wanted to talk about on the show tonight, I didn't even hear what he said.
Right, okay.
I just guessed, and I asked my sister, why are people coming down
right, well, let's
on
keep
him?
going.
Go ahead.
And he says, all I can pay is the light bill. So they got mad at that. So he works a job, he has money, and all he doesn't have money, but he has a job, and all you can afford is the light bill. In my opinion, if you making that much money as the woman and you rich or whatever, your light bill might be about $2,000 a month. That might be all he can pay is the light bill. If he's a regular job guy.
Thank you.
Who has over $2,000 a month to pay on a light bill?
We're talking about a utility bill in a home that's probably a nice size home.
And he says he can pay the light bill. In other words, he probably don't even need to pay that because you make so much money. But he feel like, well, at least let me pay that so I can say, hey, I'm keeping the lights on for us, honey.
Yeah, I'm contributing. Keep going.
As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, that's fine. He prefaced it by saying, as long as she's comfortable. Now, let's look at what we talked about a few weeks ago. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. I didn't agree with her paying half. Because she said she stays up at night worrying about being poor and about not working and paying bills.
Right.
When your husband is over $100 million.
It'd be different if she never complained about that.
He said she's comfortable. Mm-hmm. This is what Tyler Perry. In other words, you married me. In other words, she could probably live by herself and pay all her bills, and she's fine.
Yeah.
You are adding on to her life in other ways that's not financial.
Yes.
So if she's comfortable, now because this was one of the things that some of the women was mad about.
What?
I'm tired. I have to get up. I have to work. I want somebody that's in there like me. He didn't say you. He didn't say your type of job. You're obviously in a whole nother level than what he's talking about. Tyler Perry is a billionaire.
Thank you.
A lot of y'all women got mad and y'all don't even make over, some of y'all make maybe $100,000 a year. A little bit over $100,000. You darn sure ain't making $400,000 a year.
Yeah.
He ain't talking about you. Because you poor. You got 1 foot in the grave, not the grave, 1 foot at your job and 1 foot in the poorhouse. If you lose your job, you are not a billionaire like Tyler Perry. Right. So he's not talking about you. I think he's talking about people like Oprah, who's with Stedman.
Yes.
I guarantee you he's talking about Oprah with Stedman.
Yes.
Because that's his friend, and he sees how the dynamic of that duo works. And he sees that Stedman is secure and that she's secure.
Thank you.
And she's a billionaire.
But you know what?
She don't have one. You got to get up and go to work.
But they would do, they may not see it that way. And even in that situation, because they'll see, like what Ebony says, Oprah, Stedman is not a bus driver.
No.
He's not a blue collar worker. We know. He speaks, gets paid for his speaking, he writes.
He was making over $200,000 when he met
does
Oprah.
Well. And I see sometimes women are like, I'm okay with me making more than him. If it's kind of like, we always see people's levels of money. Like you even call out DDG.
Right.
And Halle.
People keep saying that DDG
she makes more than him.
He's using her for money. And that he got her pregnant for money. And I'm sitting here going, you morons. I watch YouTube. I'm on YouTube. He makes more money than her. Yeah. Actors do not make that much money. Y'all need to get away from that. Neither do musicians. A lot of these people that y'all thinking living high and making a lot of money, they don't have a lot of money. A lot of these YouTubers make $1 million a month.
I'm trying to wrap my head.
A month.
I'm trying to wrap my head around social media influencers making millions of dollars. But my thing is to add to this. Why are we? I think we've gotten it in our minds in this world when we're with somebody or getting with somebody. We think of the material things.
Yes.
Everything is material.
Yes.
He even said the checklist.
He preferenced
They're
it.
adding to your life. They're treating you like a
good
queen.
Person, loves
they
you,
take care of you. If somebody was to get in your face, they would make sure he would not get in your face.
Right. But then they'll take it and go,
rub your feet.
No. Then they'll take it and say the reason why they mad. Look at Nicki Minaj with her husband. Mm-hmm. He's a doofus. Oh. He didn't say a guy that goes out at 4:00 in the morning, standing in front of a 5-star hotel, saying, I'm on the street. I'm on the street. Yeah, come on, Offset. I'm on the street. Okay. And they said, that's why you don't marry beneath you. No, he didn't say marry a nut job.
With no integrity.
He said somebody that's good for you and who honors you. Nicki Minaj's husband in the front of a 5-star hotel talking about come on, drive by Offset is not honoring her. He's a nut job.
I don't want Tyler Perry to apologize.
Yeah, he better not.
Please don't. Because everything he said, he was real clear. When he talked about the integrity of the man,
right,
that's making less.
Right.
He talked about that man's secureness.
Watch, now look at this.
Go ahead.
Now, some social media users, this is the women that decided that they wanted to go all off on this, argued, and that's probably why they single, that if a man can only afford to pay a bill here and there, maybe he's not ready to be in a serious relationship. No. I said, if you really about that life and you making that money, you probably live in a house he probably wouldn't have lived in. If he's just a regular working guy, he probably would have got a regular middle class house. You want to live with the Joneses in the suburb of Atlanta, where you got $1 million, $2 million house. Well, then now your light bill is more than what this dude making. So you forced him to. It's like Stedman. Stedman was making over $200,000-$300,000 a year. You moving with Oprah, who's a billionaire.
Thank you.
I remember when they lived in Chicago. She was on the top of the John Hancock building.
Yes.
Stedman's $200,000 a year job could not afford him living on the top of the John Hancock building.
Or property in Maui.
No. A whole almost island in Maui.
But she living good and they do
and he's living with her.
For what we know.
Now, why is he a low life? Because he can't afford to pay her $200,000 light bill every month.
They put him in a category because he's not a low life, blue collar bus driving like Ebony said.
Oh, so it depends on the job then.
Yes. He's not taking the trash. He's not driving the trash.
So I dismissed that little statement right there. If all he can afford is pay a light bill here and there, he's not ready for a serious relationship or a family. Mm-hmm. Not true. Mm-hmm. Some also argue that instead of telling women to lower their standards, Perry should encourage men to rise to the occasion. Not true either. Let me tell you why. First of all, why is it again that because somebody makes less money than you, that is lowering your standard? What is your standard? What is your standard based on? Money?
Yeah.
Obviously, your standard is money. If you're saying, Tyler's saying lower your standard.
I'm going back to material things.
It's materialistic.
Yes.
So he's not telling you to lower your standard. He didn't say marry Nicki Minaj's husband.
Who has money.
Who,
right?
To me, that's lowering your standard.
But he has money.
No, he just got out of jail.
Oh, wow. Well,
that's lowering your standard.
Well.
He didn't say that. He said, good to you, honors the family, is a good man.
But we know, too, from personal experience that ex-convicts, or we don't say it anymore. Will we say the word now? Being politically correct.
I don't know.
We've known people who have gotten out of prison, out of jail, and they're doing well. They've gotten a business. They started mentoring men who even go, or women who go to prison. They are doing something. You can tell when you meet somebody that they are a person of integrity. Right. They have a good heart. Yeah. You can't tell
there's
how
no
a person's
dollar
going to
sign
treat
on
you
that.
On his income.
And there's no dollar sign on that.
God, why we do this as women?
And
not
says,
just black women, I get it.
Right.
Women in general.
But he says, I know people, this is what Perry said, I know people whose men can't touch what they make.
Right.
Which we already know he's talking about, like Oprah. But when you see them together,
yes,
that love, that support, that I got you, babe, is a beautiful thing. Uh-huh. Remind y'all, Tina Turner married her driver.
Yes. Thank you. Is that beneath her? That man treated her good. He loved her until she died. Thank you. He was her driver.
Her driver. Tina Turner.
Oh, gosh.
Now, one commenter said, while there's nothing wrong with dating a man who earns less, men often can't handle when a woman earns more. He already settled that.
Thank you.
He said he's comfortable.
Yes, this man is a comfortable man. He's secure.
He's giving you guys the man. You guys are adding on to what he's saying.
Or taking away.
He didn't say a guy who's sitting at home hating every time you walk out the door.
Thank you.
Because you make more money
He
than
already gave you the checklist of what this man
is already. What if he's a teacher? Teachers don't make nothing.
They sure don't.
What if he's a teacher? What if he likes being a teacher?
And let's go there for a moment. I love teachers. I love men that are teachers.
What if he's a teacher and he don't want to go to a university? He likes teaching fifth graders in the hood.
Thank you. Urban.
What if he's a black man? He likes teaching high school in the Robert Taylor home.
And you just happen to be, six figures.
And you live in Chicago. Let's do Chicago because we here.
Right.
And you make over $200,000, $300,000 a year.
In your job.
And you have a condo downtown Chicago off Michigan Avenue or something. And you meet this guy and he's a teacher.
Thank you.
At Robert Taylor Homes or whatever, Cabrini Green.
In the projects
and
area.
you met him, maybe you're in a sorority or something. He's in a fraternity or something.
Yeah.
And you like him.
Yes.
You're not going to marry him because he's a teacher and he makes $30,000 a year?
He's beneath me.
And what if he don't want, like he said, Tyler said his gifts aren't your gifts. His talents aren't your talents. What if he doesn't want to make $300,000 a year?
He wants to impart in kids. He's even a part of organizations that impart in children, building them up, making them feel good about themselves. Yeah. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Than the fact that he's beneath me with his income. Really?
And then it says, Perry is giving advice as potentially single man since he has his last public relationship was with model and filmmaker, whatever. The two started dating and they go into this whole thing. So the bottom line is,
I didn't like that when people came at him with his comment.
They really went off on what he said.
I'm disappointed.
They didn't address what he actually said. They added on to it. They said, I don't want nobody that's a bum. I don't want nobody that just sits at home. I don't want nobody. He said has a job. I don't want nobody who's jealous of me. He just said he's confident. I don't want nobody that I gotta work in order for us to still live at the top of that mansion. I want somebody to add on. He said she's comfortable.
Yeah.
Everything that y'all going after him with, he already addressed it.
Yes.
He said she's comfortable. Now, where I will agree with y'all, if you want to stay at the top of the high rise on top of the on Michigan Avenue,
the penthouse.
you're not going to marry a teacher. Because it's going to be all on you to stay up there. I agree then.
But you know what? We were
Because
talking.
then you're not going to be comfortable. But I want somebody that's going to add to this.
But here's the thing, too. I was telling my sister, a lot of these women who are probably complaining at the comments he's making and not really hearing with their ears and their heart, we used to, we would say that some women are like cars. Mm-hmm. We would put them in categories.
Oh, yeah.
There's
men put women in categories.
Men do, too. I'm just saying this for us how we would play with it. There are BMW women. There are women that are BMWs. Mm-hmm. They are sports cars. They are like, whoa, Maserati.
Men put women in categories.
Rolls
some
Royce. So you know she got it going on.
Exactly.
And then there's a Ford Taurus.
Right.
A Kia Soul.
Yes.
A van.
Yes.
All the little cars go into categories.
Yes.
Even the little tiny Pinto.
Yes.
If you are not a BMW.
What are you talking?
Screaming, I don't want to be no man who ain't making no money in it.
But you know what? A lot of women who are what men would call that category,
what?
They don't make a lot of money. They don't have to because they know they're going to find somebody that's a basketball player or a football player.
See.
Why am I killing myself to make a lot of money when I don't have to?
They'll just be cute at the
just be cute.
And the football player comes
It's
over.
always the ones that's not the BMW that's making all of the problems.
That's true.
Because she got to get out there and hustle.
I got to hustle. Give me a man. Where a man at?
She can't walk.
He don't make that much.
She can't walk into a club and all the basketball players look at her.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in that circle.
Right.
Even though you got the butt.
But you want a guy like that. And here's the other thing. And I hate to, and I guess this is where women hated Kevin Samuels, the one that passed away.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm kind of like that in a sense. I don't like everything that he said, but y'all would hate me if y'all really listen to the stuff. You
gotta eat the meat and spit the bones out with him.
I'm similar to him. What do I look like going in? I'm using me as an example.
I know.
Why would I go in saying this? I did and my list is this.
You ain't making more than me. This my list.
You should be happy you got somebody.
But I think too. Let's go back to even like the.
But I am a hypocrite though.
I know you are. I'm thinking about if she got her nerve, but we can go there because y'all see our old
said
shows.
it in other stuff. Yeah.
But
I don't want a fat
man.
That's a hypocrite.
I know. Let's go back to the comment that Ebony made.
Right.
Now, Ebony, we all know she's a news person. She's in the TV.
She's not a BMW, though. She's old.
No, that doesn't mean anything. Age doesn't mean anything.
No, we were saying BMW, but go ahead.
But men can still see them as, she's nice looking.
But they could get a 20-year-old Beverly.
Are we not?
Whatever her name is.
You and I keep talking about that. I'm not talking about what they could have, would have, should have.
Right, go ahead.
Let's put her in the category of what she is.
All right.
She's an attractive woman. She is, and she's making big money.
Right.
When she made that comment about, I don't want no bus driver. Right. I don't want nobody. And then she was with Ayanna Van Zandt. Mm-hmm. And of course, Ayanna, she challenged her too.
Right.
She didn't come quite like Tyler did.
Right.
But I think
Tyler was nice.
She was hinting along. I think she was going down the same road that Tyler was.
As Tyler was saying.
You want a man with character, a man with integrity, a man with a goal, with a purpose.
Our country is
and a teacher. If Ebony got with a teacher, a school teacher in South Side of Chicago, really, Ebony?
That's another thing too.
He's only making what, 40,000, 50,000. You making six figures?
Right.
You wouldn't talk to this teacher?
We'll end it with this.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we got to remember too. I'm getting all hot and whatever.
Okay.
These women don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them do all that talking.
A lot of them are still single.
No. A lot of them do all that talking, and the fine dude or something come along and whistle at them or something. He'll be moving in their penthouse in a second.
And he don't have no job.
He got no job or nothing.
He's dealing and willing on the street.
They'll fix him up and don't tell nobody that you don't do nothing. Just when they ask you what you do,
look good. You like eye candy.
Yeah, just say that you know. Or they meet somebody, he's funny.
So we allowed to talk.
Yeah, talk. You go to a comedy club and some old broke comedian is up on stage. Because I'm a comedian. They don't make no money. They do. Everybody not Kevin Hart. These guys are broke.
Thank you, they are.
And they get up there and they tell jokes and all this, and then he talking to you after the club.
And they live in the basement of their mom's home.
He going from hotel to hotel doing gigs. And then he talked to you after the show, and you giggling and ha-ha and hoo-hooing. Mm-hmm. And you make over $200,000, $300,000 a year. And you an old broke comedian.
Because he look good.
Or because you seen him on television. Oh, I saw him on Comic Jam.
So you thinking a lot of this is
Comic Jam, and he ain't worth nothing.
I just really feel bad for Tyler that he's gotten slammed for that comment.
Tyler don't care. He's a billionaire.
Thank you, Tyler Perry. Regardless of them calling you whatever name to whoever, you're not the right person to say this comment. You can. You're a billionaire.
And he's single.
But you made it very clear how that man, he needs to be this way.
Exactly.
And you need to be okay.
He left no stone unturned.
No, he didn't.
Made sure that he said he had a job. He was a good man.
Secure.
And you're comfortable. I agree. Now, this is the part
where it has to be both ways.
This is the part where I agree with some of what the women are saying. That's mad. If I'm not comfortable,
then don't do it.
Then you shouldn't be with it.
That's right.
If I'm not comfortable, if I feel like I got to get up every morning and I have to work in order for us to live and have all of this, I'm not comfortable with that. Then I agree. You shouldn't marry a school teacher or somebody. You need to marry somebody that got just as much money or more money than you because you want to live that lifestyle and he ain't going to help you. He's barely paying the light bill. Right. So if you want that, then you don't need to marry that guy.
And you still going back to materialistic.
But that's how they are, then that's fine.
Then that's going to kill you.
Men are materialistic. They want to marry a good, beautiful woman.
Being material over relationship building and building the character and the relationship.
I don't say nothing to people that do that.
It's not going to last.
It might.
It's not going to last.
It might.
Because you're not going to always have your materials.
But your
materials get blown away by a tornado.
Some basketball players want to marry somebody that look good. And they did. And they've been married for about 40, 50 years. So it doesn't matter.
And my hat goes off to them. But who's to say that they both were material? She probably was like, I love him. I'm going to stay with him. I'm going to keep him. He may have cheated on me or whatever. They wanted to both decided to keep the marriage. I know.
So it don't matter.
So we just really need to get off this material thing being number one.
But if you are, I'm fine with it. I'm saying if that's what you are,
well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you are.
If you are that, you will not, of course, agree with him. But you don't have to agree with him. This is his opinion.
He's talking to people that are not materialistic.
Right.
He's not talking to you if your standard is money.
Exactly.
If your standard is good, the most beautiful woman in the room, a man, then that's not the message is for
him. There you go. It's like the Scrub song.
Yeah, if you're not a scrub, it don't hit you. That message
ain't talking to me. She ain't talking to me.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. If you are, that's fine.
Okay. But apparently it's not because they slamming him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of the women that slamming him, they don't fit in that description. They just stupid. Cotillia says, hi, ladies and mama. Wendy says, hello, girls. Emerald says, hey, ladies.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody saying hi to each other. Justice for All says, where are these men hiding? Yeah, I know. Teachers and things like that. William says, hi, Emerald. He said hi to everybody. And Emerald said, William,
where are these men hiding?
And also, too, I don't have a problem with people having a long list. Be okay if you don't get it.
Yeah.
If you're okay and you're secure and say, I could die single, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Then I'm okay with that.
I may not get everything on my list. I may only get a few of my 10.
Yeah. And if there's some things you don't want to bend on, that's fine. But understand that pool is small and you may not, and then y'all be praying to God. He's not going to listen to your prayer.
As you get older, that list gets a little shorter.
You hear what I said? He's not going to listen.
You know what?
If you're
God is not going to listen to you.
Let me tell you why.
You are only bent on material.
That's what I was going. If your prayer is God, the standard is money. Your prayer is bouncing off the ceiling.
God said, I want you and him to be together.
God says, render unto Caesar what is his and unto God what is his. If I have somebody for you, he don't come with no price tag and a gold bow written on him saying he's worth this. He's worth more because he's saved and he's going to heaven.
Oh, he's a man that loves God.
I don't put my work on people. That's God saying on humans. On how much money they got.
Right.
If you had all the riches in the world, you wouldn't have what I have.
Thank you.
So don't pray to God for that. Yeah. That's bouncing off the roof. But if you're praying for him to be saved, things that's genuine, things that God would even say, yeah. I don't want somebody that has a quick anger, God. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I don't want somebody that don't know you, God. Okay. I want them to kind of have the same religion I got. Okay.
Yeah, same faith.
I go to church. Okay, all right.
Each other on
even help. God, I don't want anybody that's not healthy, that don't run. I exercise every day. God will listen to that because that's healthy. Why am I sending you a smoker or something and you don't smoke?
I don't know.
But money, your prayers bouncing off the ceiling.
And you may have to maybe seek going outside your race.
Yeah.
I
like dark men, so I can't go outside.
No, I don't. We talked about that preference thing. You can have a preference for a certain color, look, and hair color. You may not get that preference, though.
I have
too many friends who had preferences for certain men, and the guy I meet go, oh, he's totally opposite to what you've been liking in college.
I like dark men. I married a light-skinned man.
Yeah, see?
So that's that. It doesn't matter what your preference is.
That's true.
All right. Look at him.
Look at the little man.
Let's move us over here. Yeah, you said this story today.
Yes, it's a sad story.
Two people are arrested. Third sought after a deadly fentanyl exposure at a Bronx daycare.
This is truly stupid.
2 suspects have been charged with murder after another person is sought by police in a deadly fentanyl exposure at a daycare in the Bronx. First responders were summoned on Friday afternoon to Divino Nino Daycare on 27, they get everything, 07 Morris Avenue in Kingsbridge for
she
reports.
has to take actual business.
Reports of cardiac arrest. Nicholas Demenci, that little one right there,
cute little man,
died Friday after police say he was exposed to fentanyl that was in the daycare.
Yes.
3 other children were hospitalized.
Thank you. Oh, I want to just reach.
Authorities say drug production equipment and a kilo of fentanyl were found inside the home-based daycare. Mm-hmm. Detectives believe the children inhaled the fentanyl particles during the day-long exposure.
Mm-hmm. In the daycare.
On Friday.
In her house.
Carlisto Brito, 41, and Gria Mendez, 36, were dealt 11 charges, including murder, manslaughter, and assault. Police are still looking for Mendez's husband on Monday for questioning. See, that's not a man that protects you and takes care of you. But he making some money off of fentanyl. Lord. Officials say Brito is a tenant who was renting a room for Mendez. Brito is the cousin of Mendez's husband. Prosecutors said the kilo of fentanyl was found in a hallway closet outside the Brito's room. And they say Mendez participated in the reckless, depraved act by renting him the room in the daycare. She probably didn't think nothing was going to happen because she was renting him a room to do his drugs in. Mm-hmm. Not thinking that those particles come through the thing.
Yes.
People are stupid.
And she has a daycare.
Mendez's attorney said she was unaware drugs were being stored in her daycare by her husband's cousin. She says she didn't know he was storing it there.
Yeah, right.
He was renting the room for $200 a week. Her only crime was renting her room to someone who had a kilo. That's what her attorney said. Oh. There is no evidence that she did anything but care properly for these children. So, okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. If any of those guys say she knew about it, that's sorry.
She's done.
But if she just rented him a room for $200 and she don't know this is just for you in there, that's your room, whatever you do, I don't care. Then she could say, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Detectives have learned that Mendez talked to her husband several times in the immediate aftermath of Friday's tragedy. They say they have also recovered video of both the husband and other people fleeing the daycare with bags of unknown contents in the initial confusion. Officials say the children ate something around 1 p.m. Friday and took a nap. When workers went to wake them up at 2:30, 3 were unconscious. Mm-hmm. And this little boy right here was pronounced dead.
I think he went home and he was acting weird.
The 2-year-old boy remains in critical condition. An 8-month-old girl and another 2-year-old boy were also rushed to the hospital and all are in stable condition.
She need to be put under the prison.
Now, this is the one you talking about. Mm-hmm. One of the 2-year-old boys, Jalise Lino, actually went home at around 12:15 Friday and was later found by his mother to be acting unresponsive. His mother rushed him to the hospital where the opioid reversal medication, Narcan, it saved his life. That's not this one. This one passed away. Mm-hmm. He didn't go home. He never woke up from his nap.
That's sad.
His father said it is a miracle that he survived the fentanyl exposure, the one that came home. Mm-hmm. He said, now looking back, he finds it suspicious that there were 3 men standing outside the daycare that Thursday and that Friday. The medical examiner will conduct an autopsy to determine Demancey's cause of death. I love him. I miss him. I want him back. But there's nothing that will give me back my son. When I come home from work and walk through the door, he say, Daddy, Daddy. That's what his father said. With watery eyes and a heavy heart, Felice is mourning and processing how he lost his son at a place he assumed was safe.
Daycare.
My wife was on her way to the daycare. She was going to pick him up early. Shortly before she arrives, she receives the call and also sees the ambulance outside.
These are the situations where you like, officers, hold me down.
Well, look at
because
this.
I'm about to take her life.
The daycare opened in January, and it just passed a surprise visit.
Yes, it did.
From a city inspector last week with no violations.
No violations. They showed the place on the news when they walked through where they were setting up the stuff, the drugs and stuff, and doing whatever they do with it. And the place was kind of messy. So she's really going to have to prove
that she didn't know. It says after the children were removed from the daycare, the fire department tested the air for environmental hazards and found no evidence of carbon monoxide. Officials then began to suspect that something else was going on. Opioid exposure, and executed a search warrant to search the other rooms. That's when they found the other stuff. So they thought it was carbon monoxide.
Can y'all imagine a daycare exposed all these kids?
And they go to sleep.
And you have all these kids in your care. Every parent is going, he okay, she okay, she at the daycare. She at the daycare.
And you don't smell that fentanyl, I don't think. It's like carbon monoxide.
That's sad. When I heard this story, y'all, a tear came to my eye. I was so mad at that lady and her boyfriend and her husband's friend, whatever.
Thank you, cousin.
And I saw this little boy in his tie.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to just reach through the TV.
And all the other kids.
All the children, but this one has to be a photo of it.
I know.
Okay.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes, it is. And she will have to learn. I don't know how she will learn, but.
All right. United Auto Workers strike day number 4.
They may have to pull out the big guns, and all of them have to.
General Motors threatens to send 2,000 workers home. Ford cut 600 jobs. So what they doing? What are you laughing at?
I'm just going. They trying to go back.
Oh, yeah.
They trying to fight the UAW.
So what's happening is they are threatening to lay off the people that's not in the union. Mm-hmm. And they kind of probably put them against each other. Mm-hmm. Union workers against non-union workers. Because of you guys, that all of us is going to lose our jobs. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
As auto workers strike enters day 4, the two sides are digging in. On one side are the United Auto Workers who say record corporate profits should yield a record contract. We went backwards roughly $10 an hour to wages over the last 6 years. UAW President Sean Fawn told NPR. At the same time, in the last decade, these companies have made $250 billion in profits. Mm-hmm. On the other side, the big 3 automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis,
they bought out Chrysler and something like that,
who say they have put historically generous offers on the table, while also emphasizing that there are limits. Well, we talked about this, and I told you that they're going to replace them with AI.
Can y'all imagine these people working at a truck, at a car deal, at car production? Mm-hmm. A machine can easily replace them. You don't have to put up with no strikes with machines, and machines can do the very thing that these people are doing. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
And I told my sister, they have come back to the UAW, and they counteract the negotiation.
Nobody wants to listen to the other side.
They want more. For example, they're wanting 40. Maybe the car people are saying 20 or something. So I'm really concerned about this strike because they can. I mean, AI is not ready to do it now, but we got a lot of. We drive by a lot of these car dealers. They got a lot of cars on the lot. Do we really need more and more cars?
Well, it says here there's already started to be a ripple effect.
Is it?
Workers are out of jobs and companies won't pay them. Ford told 600 workers not to report to work at its Michigan assembly plant.
The
600.
The UAW, they did talk to this one lady that was striking. She said they are giving them very low, but they are getting paid while they're on strike.
It says
it's very little, though.
General Motors warned that 2,000 workers are expected to be out of work at their Fairfax assembly plant in Kansas this week. The company says that's due to a shortage of critical materials supplied by stamping operations, which is probably the ones that's on strike.
Yeah.
The historic strike kicked off right after the stroke of midnight on Friday morning, with 9% of UAW's nearly 150,000 union members walking off their job. So it's not all of them then.
No, that the next step they're saying
will be all
of them.
Because right now nobody feels your effect. The same thing I said with the writer strike. I said that. I said no one's gonna feel it until all actors, any writer, all of them strike. Nobody's gonna feel the effect. Wow. If you keep giving passes, that's why what's her name? Viola Davis. They gave her a pass and said her movie didn't fit in that strike.
Right,
day.
She could have actually gone
and
on.
And she said, even though I wouldn't be crossing the strike line,
exactly.
I don't want to do it because I want to stand in solidarity with my actors. It gives more strength when we do that. I told you the same thing with Whoopi Goldberg and all the other ones who technically can still act.
They can still work
because
of how they're classified in the news.
I'll even go as far as to say even Broadway. Anybody in the entertainment field, until they all do it, no one's gonna know.
Feed their families.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Drew Barrymore
tried to cross,
and they called her slamming her.
They called her a scab
because you can't do that.
She tried to come back with her show.
Yep,
and hire new writers. And I understand her point too, because she said I got a lot of other people who aren't in the thing, and they don't have no money.
I know.
I feel bad that I hired these people. They're out of work. And they're not writers or actors. They're people that's in other parts. Mm-hmm. But she has to understand she's an actor. Mm-hmm. She's an actor. And it's her show. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Jennifer Hudson. Soon as she won that Oscar, she no longer was just a singer.
Right.
She's an actor.
She's part of that field. Yeah. And she's been in at least 3 or 4 movies.
So she's they're feeling it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
So we'll see. My prayers go out to this UAW. I hope that they can negotiate and do come at a place. But I really have a feeling futuristic. They're going to be AI that's going to replace you guys. Okay. It really may do that. It may happen.
Emerald says, regardless of whether she did or didn't know, she will end up financially bankrupt and physically ruined. Yeah, the lady with the daycare.
Yes.
I agree.
Oh, my God.
And Justice for All says, didn't these companies get a government bailout back in 2008? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
But the UAW...
That was Obama. Y'all don't remember that?
But the UAW guys saying they didn't get none of that.
Well, that was 2008.
But he's saying the money that's coming in, even
that was the company
COVID,
that was bailed out.
Right. They said the workers are not getting that. They're not getting the money that they're making from, the sales.
And I hear what you're saying, Wendy. Broadway is a different union, but that's what I was saying. It has
Why
to
would
be,
they need to step down?
It has to be everybody though. If you are an actor,
I don't know.
I think
people
so.
are kind of selfish these days.
Then y'all gonna be on strike for a long time.
The stage people be looking at you like, yeah, because there was a stage play you sent me about going to.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah, they still playing.
They still doing. This is Broadway in Chicago.
But you see, if they would have stood in solidarity, even though a different union and all that stuff,
that would hurt us.
We'd be like, what?
I can't see them. Such and such.
Oh, see, Now I gotta watch old shows.
Then it will kind of hurt.
I'm telling you.
But what Broadway our actors are going to do?
They're not going to do that.
They're going to say, y'all on your own. I got to feed my kids and pay my rent.
Yeah, y'all, they're not going to go.
This is sad.
And it has to be all, in my opinion.
All or none.
It has to be all entertainment. Yeah. It can't be one. It got to be all entertainment, different unions, different whatever. Mm-hmm. If y'all want them to hear what y'all saying. Mm-hmm. Other than that, nobody's going to notice. Yeah. Because a lot of these people that are celebrities, that are actors, they got podcasts and stuff now. Mm-hmm. We still see them I still see them on YouTube.
There's so many movies that I'm looking at on Hulu and Netflix and Tubu.
Yeah.
It's movies that I ain't never seen. And I'm like, oh, I got
Look at Wendy saying, Broadway is an escape for the actors and SAG. Yep, they can get work. That's the problem.
True.
But that's the problem,
they
Wendy.
Can go and do stage.
That's the problem, is you have an escape.
Why?
Nobody's going to fight for what y'all fighting for if they know y'all have an escape.
Why aren't you guys all one union?
Well, I don't know about that.
That whole entertainment area, whether you stage, movie, TV, anything.
Because they all have different thoughts and stuff.
That to me would be like a boycott back in the civil rights.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Everybody don't ride the bus and the cab.
I don't think they need to be one union. I'm saying all of them should strike at the same time.
That's not going to happen. If they one union, that'll make them do it.
I wouldn't be one union because I got a different thought than you do.
I get it, but it's not going to happen if you want the other people to sit down if they're not a part of your union. What do we have in common?
We're entertainers. When you strike, we'll support you.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm saying that's what you. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what gets you is when you guys. We're gonna back you guys up when you need us, but nobody's gonna do that because everybody's up on their own. You should. Wendy just said it. Broadway is an escape for actors, and SAG they can get work. That's an escape. So now people are like, she can go on Broadway or something. If she want to make some money or something. Oh, well. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if McDonald's strikes and Burger King, which they don't have nothing to do with them, say, you know what? All fast food is going to strike. You know that'll send a dip.
It's like a boycott.
It's a boycott.
Like when they did, because that was one of the things too in that movie that I was telling you guys, the documentary.
Yeah.
He got in detail about the boycotts that they had to pull together. They actually had rules and to-dos and stuff where everybody would be on one accord.
If you did that, you would get our attention.
They made the fight stronger. Yes.
It's like the NFL and the NBA.
Oh, when they went on strike.
When nobody was saying
baseball
nothing.
went on strike.
Right. When nobody was caring, when everybody was like, we're not going to watch basketball. We're not going to watch football. Nobody cared. When LeBron James said, we're going to walk out and I'm going to lead the players to do it, then all of a sudden they looked up and said, what y'all want?
What y'all want? They go by the actual sport. You're saying that the entertainment is different. Stage is different than theater. Whereas all the baseball players went on strike. All the football players went on strike.
All right. I don't think, have they ever strike?
The football?
No, I think the baseball players
did.
Baseball has been very good to me. Very good.
Is that Pele?
I forgot who that was.
He was soccer.
Soccer has been very good to me.
Baseball.
Very good.
Baseball.
Well, here we go.
What's going on?
Why they got to have a picture of Joe Biden look like he's asleep? They wrong for that.
Sleepy Biden.
White House touts Iran prisoner exchange deal. Says Biden is making 5 families whole again. Iran gets $6 billion and 5 of its own citizens in the deal. The 5 American citizens being released in a prisoner exchange with Iran are on their way to the U.S., White House officials confirmed. I thought we don't negotiate with terrorists. When did that stop?
Mm-hmm, we do. Didn't we do that with the Russian man?
That's what I'm saying. I thought we don't negotiate. I guess we back to doing that. Yeah. 5 Americans and 2 family members arrived in Doha, Qatar on Monday after leaving Iran. White House officials touted the move as President Biden reuniting families. In the exchange, the U.S. offered up 5 Iranian prisoners and returned $6 billion in frozen funds for use in Iran. The president is making 5 families whole again, a White House official said Sunday night. Am I naive or do I miss the days where, okay, this is the negotiation. You let go of 5 of our prisoners, and I won't flatten your house and your wife and your kids in it.
We're a nuclear bomb world.
No,
now.
Iran. They don't have nothing.
Oh.
What happened to those days?
How we know what they don't have?
They ain't got nothing that can hurt us.
Is Iran? Was that weapons of mass destruction?
Iraq.
Or was that Iraq?
They don't have nothing either. We went and destroyed them.
We were like, where are those weapons of mass destruction?
I mean, when they found what's his name, he was hiding in a hole, for God's sakes. What happened to that? What happened to those days?
I don't know.
So for 5 people, we got to give up prisoners and millions of dollars?
Maybe
billions. 6 billion?
Maybe they felt like they've reached the time. They've earned the time they've been as a prisoner. Is no reason to keep them anymore. So if we're trading off for those reasons, I don't know. That's why a lot of people don't trust the government anymore. We don't have we're not behind the government like we used to because we feel they're not making good decisions on that when it comes to foreign affairs.
This is Biden. As we celebrate the return of these Americans, we also remember those who did not return. I call on the Iranian regime to give a full account of what happened to Bob Levingston. So then they still holding people and we doing all of this? The Levingston family deserves answers, Biden wrote. What do they need to give him up for then if they got him? You gave me my money that was frozen. You gave me my prisoners back. See you later, Bob. That's what I'm saying. How is this negotiating?
I don't even know.
Today we are sanctioning former president, whatever his name is, and the Iranian Minister of Intelligence under the Levingston Act for their involvement in wrongful detention. And we will continue to impose costs of Iran for their provocative actions in the region. Secretary of State held a news conference on the release later Monday addressing questions from reporters. If it's a good deal. It's very good to be able to say that our fellow citizens are free, he said, adding that the U.S. was engaging in further efforts to punish and to tier countries who unlawfully imprison U.S. citizens. I would have given them $6 billion unfrozen, and then as soon as the whatever comes, the people come off, I'll freeze it again. What do you care if
It's like sending a check and then stop payment on it. I don't know what to say.
They added that the prisoner swap was negotiated separately from talks around the Iran nuclear deal. He stressed that the deal should not be taken as an indication of progress. And Iran is with Russia. They don't care about us.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't been paying attention to this. We really should probably understand our foreign affairs and what we're doing as a country, but as a nation. We've been fixated on
comb over
Russia and China and Ukraine.
Get Trump in there. He would have got the hostages back. You know
I don't
what he
want
would
that
have done?
Nothing else.
You know what he would have done?
He still think he running against Obama.
You know what he would have done?
What?
He would have got on the phone and he would have said, "Oh, come on. Come on, Iran. Come on. Come on."
Oh, this man. Oh, no, that's okay. We don't know what
you notice they don't talk about that, about his interview, and he said he was running against Obama.
That man, I think he's losing it, y'all. I think he is. He forgot about Biden. He mentioned Obama. Go ahead.
Despite that, after an explanation of nature of the funds being proceeds from legal oil sales that were frozen until now, Blinken said that the money will be used exclusively for humanitarian purposes, and we have the means and mechanisms to make sure that happens.
All right.
I just feel like I don't. I guess because I'm older, I just remember a lot more going on when people would ask us to do stuff, and we wasn't giving people prisoners and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We just blew you away. Mm-hmm. That was it.
Going back to what Reagan did and what Obama did.
Reagan, even Obama.
The enemy, yeah. I don't know. I don't
want us to Somalia. Remember Somalia when they held the hostages?
Right.
And Obama sent them in there and they got them. I don't recall us giving up prisoners.
But you
and all
know what?
Here's
the thing too. This is what they're sharing. Remember,
we
they
don't
got
know what
Secret Service.
You're right.
We had people we knew that were special forces.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
They don't never tell you what their plan is.
Yeah, we don't know.
They can be over there now doing something.
Yeah, we don't know. You're right.
So that's true.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Let me see. Did anybody say anything? Let me see. Hold on. Wendy says, but not all SAG actors are in the equity. She's talking about the actors.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we were saying though, Wendy. Even if they're not in the even if they're not part of SAG or they're not part of it, that's what I was saying. Everybody has to come together. But it's not gonna. We already know it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying it. It would be nice.
Is that a statue?
That's JFK look like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, remember we kept talking about churches, and about how they keep having their tax-free. They don't get taxed.
They're not taxed right
now. And
I
said until they start doing what they're supposed to do, they need to get taxed.
When I saw this, I went, "Oh."
Well, apparently this pastor must have heard from God and understands that sooner or later they're going to start getting taxed because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So he decided, you know what? Why don't I lead the charge?
I hope he is an example for all ministries.
It says church helps wipe out $2.6 million in medical debt of community members. He said God has taught us.
That's beautiful.
Preaching the word of God is one way Cross Atlanta Church is impacting a community. But lead pastor Josh Mayo and his congregation say they want to do more. And they have found a way to do that by making a big difference in the lives of thousands of people. We've all been at the place where you just couldn't pay for that bill.
Yeah.
You just couldn't pay for that unexpected situation, he said. But then someone, hold on, can't read without my glasses. Someone answers a prayer, comes out left field and says, hey, your debt has been erased. There's nothing more like Jesus than that.
Jubilee.
During the past 10 years, the church's mission has been to serve those in need. Now the church is relieving medical debt owed by more than 2,400 people living in Fulton and Forsyth counties.
Beautiful.
Not church members.
Ooh.
People living in the county.
Because you always got to hear, are you a member? Are you
pay your
tithes? Then we can help.
You know what the pastor said?
What?
We want to move outside the walls of this place and not just think of ministry as a service.
Hallelujah. That's what Jesus did.
Through a third-party church leader said they were able to negotiate about $2.6 million in debt relief for community people. It's about $10,000 per family.
That's
my wife and I have been under medical debt, said a church member, Wayne Craig. Our children had deficiencies with their immune system, and we've been under medical debt. It can be a crushing burden for people.
Yes, it can.
Another church member, Kim Craig, added, God has taught us that we should love our neighbors and love others. That's what we try to do. And when he tells us to do something, we try and listen. To commemorate the special occasion, the church has scheduled a debt relief ceremony with this congregation for later this month. I think there's not a better metaphor for the church and what Christians are supposed to be than individuals who relieve debt, says Mayo. Christ is a debt forgiver.
Yes, he is.
And this is the kind of way we want to model our lives as well.
Thank you,
He paid the ultimate debt.
Yes, he did. Our sins. Thank you, Jesus. I like what this church is doing.
He's a debt forgiver.
Should this be even a concern, a question that we ask, especially mega ministries?
He says he's working with they're working with nonprofit RIP medical debt to provide financial relief. They will randomly select recipients and notify them by letter next week.
You know, I was reading at the different ministries and the different ministries even out of the country, because there's a ministry in South Korea that's really nice size, and there's one in somewhere in Asia, the biggest church, one of the largest churches. I think right away a mega I think is at least 2,500 or 3,000 people. You're getting into mega ministries where you got people 40,000. Joel Osteen's church, T.D. Jakes' ministry, Tony Evans, all these ministries are considered mega.
Yep.
This is beautiful. Oh my
now, remember I
God,
said
debt
it.
free
I
from
said,
medical bills.
Even if you're not even a big, if every church just did the radius around their church, just make sure that the people around your area
in your community
are taken care of.
I'm so glad I don't know if other ministries could be doing this, and we just don't know.
Let's hope.
But
hopefully he sets a precedent for
I'm
it.
so grateful this man is doing this. Thank you, sir.
Well,
God is going to truly bless the ministry
right.
that and you're going outside the walls.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody just ministers within the walls. People need help outside your walls.
Yep. All right.
Thank you. That's a feel-good story. Thank you.
So let's do our Instagram. I'm going to skip over that one.
Okay.
I always try to show something stupid on Instagram or whatever.
What is this?
Or funny or whatever. So you want to blow it up?
Is this not at the beginning, though?
Oh, I don't know. All right, let's see. Oh, who made my... Okay. Look at this wedding.
Why? Why?
Can y'all tell me? Are they outside?
No, they inside.
Who does this?
Who does that?
What is wrong with y'all?
Why do you have to come in on the horse?
And you gotta do a matrix move. Matrix move.
You know what? I think they coming into the reception because they look like they married already.
What is wrong?
What is that?
them?
Who didn't plan that? And that poor horse. Look at the horse.
Oh my!
I'm not an animal rights person, but if I was an animal rights person, I would be upset about this. Look at the horse.
And look how they had this matrix move, limbo move under the. Y'all can't tell me. Oh my! If I was the bride, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have to get off the horse.
First of all, I wouldn't be on the horse. He wouldn't be able to hold me.
No, he wouldn't be holding me. He'd be like, he'd be moving. What is wrong with people?
Now, you want to know who Charlemagne the God. Every day you want to know who Charlemagne the God's donkey of the day is, right? Well, today the donkey of the day is Jane, I think his name is Jan Winter. Mm-hmm. He's one of the founders of Rolling Stone magazine. Okay?
What does man do?
Jan Winter, the founder of Rolling Stone magazine, is facing criticism for saying that black and female musicians were not articulate enough to be included in his new book. He features 7 interviews with white male rock and roll icons. The uproar over his comments prompted an apology. They always come back and apologize from the music journalist. And he was also booted from the board of directors of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They kicked him out because of this. In my interview with the New York Times, I made comments that diminished the contribution and genius and impact of black people and women artists. And I apologize wholeheartedly for those remarks. He said we not articulate enough.
He must be talking about James Brown.
James Brown not around no more.
Yeah, what you doing? How long you been out?
He says, I totally understand the inflammatory nature of badly chosen words and deeply apologize and accept the consequences.
Oh my God. Who has he talked to think that? Who is he listening to say that?
But here's the thing.
Comment.
This is the part that cracks me up. Because you want to know who he did interview?
Yes.
We're unarticulate. Black people.
Yes.
And women.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you who he thinks is articulate enough to be in his book.
Okay.
Keep in mind, black people not articulate enough.
Okay. Who did he interview?
Keep in mind, women aren't articulate. All women. White women, black women, Asian women, all women.
Who did this donkey talk to?
Bob Dylan.
Okay. Who else?
I don't even need to say anybody else. I'm done. If you say Willie Nelson or Bob Dylan or anybody,
but we're not articulate.
Women and black people.
Okay. Well, say somebody else.
Well, when they was alive, John Lennon,
yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, and others.
Okay. Who is he?
I didn't have to say anybody else. It was enough just to say Bob Dylan.
The only thing I could think of was did he think everybody talked like James Brown? Because other than that, who does he not? You got Quincy Jones.
People came
Diana
back
Ross,
and said, you have
Michael Jackson.
Well, some people went back and said he got some nerve because he talking about interviews from past and present.
Yeah.
They said, you don't think Grace Slick is articulate enough? Grace Slick? You know, Grace Slick could have given you some, what's her name?
Who?
Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
What does he think? All women are dumb?
I don't know. They don't, but no, he put them in the cat. He said women and black women.
Oh, he did say Joni Mitchell. This guy said Grace Slick, Joni Mitchell. Just to name a few.
He is truly a donkey. And of course you had to come back and apologize because we canceling
And
you.
they said for black people, he couldn't talk to Marvin Gaye.
I don't even know Kim.
Curtis Mayfield. They said Curtis Mayfield is extremely articulate. Oh, here's one. Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
You couldn't talk to Stevie Wonder?
Ray Charles.
Well, I don't know about Ray Charles.
Why not Ray Charles? Oh,
I know. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about that. What you want to know about rock and roll there? What you want to know about? Then you proving this point.
Berry Gordy.
Okay, Berry Gordy. Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
Don't say Ray Charles.
I'm sorry. He studied music in Paris. What's wrong with you, white man? And you're Rolling Stone magazine?
Rolling Stone magazine founder.
Oh, help us.
And
Lord.
they want to know there's no systemic racism. This man founded a magazine that we had to be on in order for people to play our music all around the world. You don't think he has a thing in his mind on how he's going to present us in the music industry?
Who was the first black on the Rolling Stone?
Oh, I don't know.
Y'all look at that. Look that up. Everybody that's listening. Who was the first black entertainer on the Rolling Stone magazine?
Well, a brief statement.
Because he had to talk to him.
A brief statement, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says they removed him from the board.
Let's get rid of him. Cancel culture can work for real this time. Because that's really ignorant.
He sold his controlling stake in the magazine in 2017.
Diana
so he's
Ross?
Probably a billionaire.
Talk to Diana Ross.
He's probably a billionaire.
You're a knucklehead. And people are...
Even Prince.
Yeah.
If he wants to say, rock and roll or whatever.
Help us. But that's the question. That's the survey question today.
You wanted to know.
Who is the first black that was pictured on Rolling Stone magazine? Very popular magazine back in the day, Let
me ask.
Back in the day, if you were on the front of Rolling Stone, People, GQ, it was a lot of magazines that Vogue, black women who made it to the cover of Vogue. Who is he not? Oh, I'm just feel embarrassed for him. I really do.
Okay, the first black person on the cover of Rolling Stone was Turner. Was the first black
Tina
artist.
Turner?
First woman to be on the cover
and
of
it's a woman. A black woman.
Who's articulate.
Who's articulate. You knucklehead. Oh, he is truly the donkey of the day. Thank you, Charlamagne.
The first person on the cover of Rolling Stone, they said, is John Lennon.
John Lennon? Okay. I figure a Beatle. Hey. But come on with the blacks and the ooh.
All right.
Okay.
That was something. Michael Jackson. He could have talked to Michael Jackson.
Why are you cracking on Ray Charles?
He said not articulate enough. Ray Charles.
I thought right away I think of James Brown.
He might be. But I'm just thinking of Jamie Foxx playing him in the movie.
Get in the hot tub.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no, James Brown. No way. No.
Hit me.
No. What you want me to talk about them? What you want me to talk about them? Hey, Jan, what you want me to talk about them? How did you feel when you first performed Across the Seas?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, about that video? Yeah. Man, I'm telling you one thing right there. Man, we was going down there as me. And that's who he's thinking of.
That's who he's thinking of.
And then what woman is he thinking of? Oh, let me tell you what I thought about when I went across the sea. Oh, it was so scary. The waves were so scary. Jan, oh my God. Then I had to get on that big old stage.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I had to take off my heels. And then I had to put up some flats. Oh my goodness, it was so scary, Jan.
The You said the first one was John Lennon?
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know.
60s?
Yeah, if it's John Lennon.
John Lennon? Okay. Wow.
Well, it says Jimi Hendrix first. Oh, who was the first African American to appear? Well, she was the female, I told you.
Oh,
it says Jimi Hendrix and Otis Redding.
Okay. I don't know. I've never heard Jimi Hendrix.
On the cover with Donovan in 1968.
I've never heard an interview with Jimi Hendrix, so I really don't know how.
Even him, I'll take. You can say he was stoned out of his mind. But there's enough people that he could not. And even he said that now.
God.
He said it now.
Yeah.
We know black people back then, they said Stevie Wonder and all of them.
And a lot of times, too, people in these interviews, they don't know what the heck they talking about, too. Some people are losing it. They really are. He's older, isn't he?
Yeah. All right, y'all. Wendy says, hey, okay, everybody say hi to each other, goodbye to each other. Don't forget to buy our book, 100 Family-Friendly Jokes. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Mm-hmm. Always believe. And that was another Woods Report. See y'all later.